Hey, this is Gabe. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be experimenting with my Japanese Ebonite fountain pen. And we are going to turn this pen, or attempt to, into a hooded pen using the same Jowo number 6 nib. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be replacing the section with a version of a hood that's going to go over that whole thing. So I've practiced on this thing I've been working on this for several weeks off and on, and I think I've come up with a design that will work, and had to make a few tools along the way. So let me explain a couple things. So this is the basics of what we're looking at. We are going to be, and this is a cutaway right here like this. And this is going to be our section. And this is 10 millimeters on both sides. And this is just a little quick divider. This is a spacer. And then in here, then we have threads. So this would be the hood, like this right here. But with the type of drill bits that I have, there's a step on the inside here that has to be smoothened out to allow for the Jowo number 6 nib. So enter a homemade turning tool. This is just a paint can opener that I shaved on the back, and I have a point, so it's basically using the hook that goes inside the hole and smoothens out. It's better if I use this. So this gets inserted in here like this, and then as it's turning, we're cutting away this inside right here. So it's making a reverse cut towards you because it's not a reversing motor. So as it's turning, it's you're cutting it now. You're doing it completely by feel. No lasers or anything like that to guide you. So it's a little bit precarious. That's why that flat is really good, because it keeps it nice and perpendicular to that cut. So it works. This works quite well in that application. So if you were to do this and were to make this, if you grind that down, slow speed, and keep it wet and keep it cool. So that's what I did there. And I just drilled a hole probably about 1.5 inches deep. This is just zebra wood pen blank, and then put some Gorilla CA glue in there. Let that cure overnight. So that's actually cured for probably about a week. But anyway, you get the basic idea. You don't need a real long tool handle because you're only cutting a little bit away right there. So let's look at our diagram. Our section, like I said, is here, which is this piece, and you get the basic idea. It's threaded on the inside just like a regular section would be. The overall length, let's see, it's 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, so it's about an inch and whatever it is you want to call that, about a 32nd of an inch right there. So I didn't measure the whole thing. 10 by 0.75 tap and die for there and there, both front and back. Just exactly the same way, 19/64 by 1/2 inch deep on the inside right there. and then the threads using a 7mm drill bit for that area. So that will hold the Jowo number 6 nib on the inside. The actual hood is 1.5 inches, and it's also a 1/2 inch outside diameter, a little less actually, and drilling out with a 11/32 drill bit, and then tapped using the tap on the inside for this right here, for the 10x075 tap and die. So these would be the die. This is the tap right here. This would go inside the body of the pin. And with that, we'll make the section first. I hope it's not too confusing, but we're going to use the Jowo number 6 nib, and that is going to go on the end of this right here, and I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Okay, so I'm going to take out my Jowo number 6 nib, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it's threaded right here. So when that goes inside, it catches those threads. Now, where that lip is, right here, normally on a regular section, I drill down into that, but that's gonna, basically we're just pretending that we already drilled that out. So that is gonna set right below that lip. You can see that or not. So right below that lip, that's where that's gonna set. So that will go in there, and that's what it's gonna look like on the inside. Your ink reservoir will hit that on the inside. And then once this is screwed on like that, you can see how that sits. Now that's why we need to relieve that inside, because that is going to hit that brass or that metal, and then it's going to expose the tip on the outside. So in a sense, we're making a hood, but using the Jowo number 6. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's all I have to work with is the Jowo number 6. I don't have the Parker nibs, but feel free to buy your own nibs and modify this design to suit your needs. Okay, I have a piece of rounded Ebonite in my 4-jaw chuck. I have it dimpled so that when I hit it with the drill, I'll go in straight. We're going to go in a 1/2 inch, which is to this first line. And as you can see in my example, that is right there like that. So that's a 1/2 inch down, just like a regular section. With a 7mm drill bit, I'm going to drill down about 1.25 inches just past this last line. So now with my section bit, my section tap, this is an M7.4-5 D3 tap made by Tapco for the Jowo number 6. So we'll just run that through there. Doesn't have to be very long, just a few a little more than 1/8 of an inch. That's probably way too long, but I'd rather be sure it's in there. Okay, now this part here gets turned down to 10 millimeters. This part gets turned down to 10 millimeters, and this is about 9. And this part right here in the middle, that's going to be 1/2 an inch. Do is just going to stop here, run the die across that, and thread this portion, and then if I have any threads here, I'll go ahead and cut those off. And I can feel I'm hitting it, obviously. Okay, I just put a fresh edge on that parting tool. Okay, the reason we don't want any threads is when we slide that hood over the top, we don't want to have to spend all day screwing off and on. So next thing to do is to get rid of that back end right there where it's high. We want to make it low like the front. So I'm going to use my miniature parting tool or my thin parting tool for that. And one of the tools you're going to have to make is a male-female 10 millimeter sectioned tenon for both male and female, like I said. So this is going to go in like this, and we're going to reverse chuck this. Okay, and then now we're going to put our threads on this side. Okay, now just like before, we're going to need to relieve the bottom end and then the back end a little bit more than that. Now I forgot how tough this is. Once you thread it, it really jams itself into that jig. So trying to get that out is pretty much, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's very difficult. So I took a piece of scrap, I threaded it out, and then I put a relief cut on one side so that basically I'm trying to squeeze it like a C or a C clamp. So I'm going to thread that on. I'm going to grab a pair of channel locks and squeeze that and try and backspin that and back that out. So I want to make sure I'm squeezing that together. And success. Low tech always works. Okay, so that is our section. And then we'll make the hood next. Okay, I tried to clean this up a little bit better, clean up some of the ebonite dust so it's easier to see. And when this is screwed in, it's screwed right under that lip. So that is fully seated, and that's what we're looking for. I have my gauge set for 1/2 inch, and that's what I'm going to turn down right here first. Right here at the tip, you can see, well, maybe barely can see it, but right here there's a line, and then that's where it steps from the inside. It goes 1 1/4 inches and then steps down to that secondary hole that we drilled. And then so right here, I just want to round that till I get to that cone on the live center. Okay, now we're going to use our specialty tool that we made using a paint can opener. This is designed, like I said in the beginning, for a pull cut on the inside as it's rotating to you like normally. And I want to back this up just a little bit more because I want to use the flat spot of that tool for support. Okay, so I'm going in and I'm starting from this point right here inside, behind that where it steps up, and I'm going to pull that cut, making shallow cuts this way, multiple passes. Okay, so that is our basic shape. So we'll go ahead and test this out. And we can see how that is sticking out about as much as we want it to. And then I just need to cut a little relief on the one side so that when you're writing, it's not dragging on the front right there. So with a disc sander, I just sort of sanded a relief right there like that. And then I'm just going to sand this back again on here. And then that should round all that off nice and even. Alright, so that is the basic idea. So when I'm writing, that shouldn't drag on the paper right there. So that should be nice. I just got to wet sand it, and I'll do all that off camera, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so that is finished, and you can see how that is kind of angled at the bottom ever so slightly. And it's a little elongated more than I would like, but with this nib being so wide, it's really broad right here. With a smaller, thinner nib, I think that will turn out a lot better. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and please like and subscribe. And even though it's not perfect, you get the basic concept. And if you have a smaller, thinner nib you can work with, this is a good base, someplace to start with. And I hope you like it, and have a good day. Hey, this is Gabriel Castro. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. You can click on the link right here and subscribe. You can watch a video series right here, or the latest video right here.